were gone last week, you can start us off today.
Sí.
So take it away
Okay.
whenever you are ready.
Buenos días, amigos y hermanos. Good morning, everybody. So we are here alive. That's it, Jack.
When he says that in Spanish, he makes it sound so easy.
He's kind of sounded Italian there for a second. Hello, everybody. Is what he said.
No.
Kind of sounded Italian.
No, Spanish. Peruvian Spanish. No accent.
Oh, okay.
No accent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Peruvian Spanish.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, I miss you guys. I've been watching the last recording. Thanks for calling my name out many times.
Boom, under the bus.
Okay, so I want to tell you as we begin this episode that this is episode number 26 of season 3. Now,
which is 100 and
my age.
100 and
ooh, I threw you off. You didn't know it. I figured you know
I did know it. 117.
117.
But here's the thing about this being episode number 26. If you can do math, we are halfway through season 3.
Right.
And we have not missed a week of season 3.
Yeah, you could. I can't do math, so I couldn't have figured that math out on myself. But
well, I was kind of amazed because I actually went back and listened to the episode from a year ago,
right,
last night, and it was episode number 22
of season 2.
Of season 2. That meant we missed 4 weeks somewhere for something. We have not missed a week this year so far. I'm kind of fearful of the weeks coming up because of all the travel and the schedules and everything. But because Zach, you are getting ready to travel, are you not?
We leave Saturday. We'll be leaving Saturday at 8:30. I think our flight's at noon or 12:30. Last year it got delayed. Last year it was raining pretty hard in Lexington and in Atlanta. And so I think it got delayed 2.5 hours, and it's supposed to rain pretty hard Saturday too. So it may get delayed once again. But yeah, we leave Saturday. We'll be back the next Saturday. We caught an early flight coming back. Keith probably know. Did you ever catch an early flight? Did you all ever catch the early? See, there's a flight before the flight that we're supposed to be on. We caught it. Like we ran through the airport. We caught it. And we were home at 11 or 12. We
were booked for that flight 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know. And right. Brandon Rader and I made the flight, and the rest of them did not. And they were a little bit later getting home. But right. You know that if you can make that flight, great. But any
right.
delay and you're in trouble. And that's what happened to us. We got delayed, but that's a whole nother story because Brandon and I ended up with priority tags on our bags.
Yeah.
And everybody else did not. And so that's why Brandon and I made the flight, but nobody else did. So you are traveling down on Friday or Saturday, and you're going to hook up with Pablo and
yes.
And then head to Ica. Now,
that's right.
Here's the thing about it. If you go back, and which I don't necessarily recommend, but if you go back a year ago and listen to the episode from 1 year ago this week, you were whining about the 7 shots you had to get.
Oh, was I?
Yes, you were.
There were a lot. Listen, some of those hurt. That yellow fever one, I couldn't even lift my arm, Keith.
Well, it was the typhoid was the one you were whining.
Oh yeah, typhoid.
So much.
Yeah, typhoid. That's what it was.
Typhoid.
But I was. Oh yes, Pablo. Oh yes.
Recommendation.
But it was just kind of funny, listening to you whine about having
right.
to, and you had missed your middle school shots, and you had to get some from them.
Yes.
And
big deal. Big deal. I had to get them all before I could leave. That was insane. That was insane time. That was very insane time.
That was a year ago, and so many things have changed here with the program in a year's time. For one thing, as I said, we're on track this year.
Right.
And last year,
I think I know the second thing.
There are two more.
We added a Peruvian.
We added a Peruvian, yes. And Pablo, that's you.
Pablo, if you don't know who that is, that's you.
Yeah. And here's something else about that program is we were talking about.
Just say Pablo. That's all.
He must think he's American.
We were talking about trying to get together while we were in Lima and record the next episode, which did not work out. But we actually made the comment, we need to bring Pablo onto the program in that episode a year ago. And we finally got Pablo on the program, and
he never left.
And he never left. So
just ask me to leave. I eventually do.
Goodness.
But
you ain't going nowhere.
Here's the other change.
It's been a year actually that I'll be part of this. I mean,
no, not yet.
Not yet.
No.
I don't have the numbers.
Well, we'll have a little party when we get there.
Neat.
But the other thing was, and I hadn't realized this, but we were doing an hour-long program still a year ago. We had not cut it back to the 30 minutes, and it was quite educational going back and listening to the program from a year ago. I was also sick as a dog on the program a year ago, but
I remember you being sick.
Fortunately, yeah, that was 2 years in a row. I got some kind of something the week before I went to Peru. So anyway, here we are a year later, and last year we talked about Black Friday specials, made up specials. I still love the spiritual Jenga, if you remember that
was a good
discussion.
One.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Here we are a year later, the day before Thanksgiving, and we really have so much to be thankful for. Here with Let's Talk About Christianity, we have so much to be thankful for. We have had the opportunity to have some amazing guests over the past year, including Pablo, who never left. And
who stuck around.
Yeah, we can't get rid of him. And Pablo, I want to say I'm thrilled that you are a part of the program.
Gracias.
But
I'm thrilled too, Pablo. I'm super thrilled that you're part of the program. Can't wait to see you Saturday.
Gracias.
And you better not be sick. You better not be sick.
Well, if you are sick, please cough on Zach, okay?
If you are sick, please stay away from me on the other end of the bus. Okay?
Okay.
You ride on the other end of the van.
I have to y'all just keep talking. I have to step away for just a moment here.
So we're worshiping at Callao Sunday morning, correct?
Yes, Sunday morning.
Okay.
You and Stan are speaking?
Yes. Stan will be doing the Bible class, and I'll be doing the sermon.
Yes, it will be good. I was about to talk with Stan if he brings a topic about eldership. Okay, maybe I will talk to him later.
Yeah, he definitely bring a topic like that. Do you have anything that you want me to talk about?
Sure, we're talking about giants that we confront.
Okay.
The last giant that we confront, it was loneliness.
Okay. Awesome.
So we are bringing about fear and discouragement, no?
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the giant from the city of Gath, the one that had 6 fingers and 6 toes on each hand and foot, and from 2 Samuel 21. Not that kind of giant.
Not that kind of giant, no.
No.
Giants in your life, Keith. Loneliness, fear.
Okay.
Things like that.
So
jealousy, envy.
Yeah, jealousy. Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good series.
I may preach on jealousy, Pablo.
Sure.
I may preach on jealousy.
Bring
That will
it
be
on.
the lesson that I will bring.
And Kid will be on Sunday 8.
We don't care about him. We don't care about him.
I don't think I'll be in Callao on that day.
Sunday morning?
I don't think so.
I think Brandon will be there.
I don't think so.
Because I have his name here again, according to John, Brandon Callao.
I think anyway. We'll talk to Brandon, but I don't think Brandon will be there on that day. I think I will be in Chimbote on the 8th.
Chimbote.
See.
If I am in Callao, I hope to be able to speak, but I think I will be in Chimbote. So anyway, from a year ago, Zach, you brought up a point that Alan Webster had actually made at one point, and it really got me to thinking. But the point that Alan made in one of the lessons that he did there at Paintsville, what, 1.5 years, 2 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah. If you were gone from the church, what is it that you do that would be missed?
It kind of reminded me of that song that George Jones sang, Keith, Who's Going to Fill Their Shoes? It instantly came to my mind, but that's kind of what he was trying to say. It was like, the responsibilities, the duties, and the works that you do in the congregation, if you were to pass away today and go on to your eternal home, who could fill your shoes? Who would take your responsibilities? Who would take your works and all the things that you're doing upon themselves and continue those things? And that was the point that he was trying to make. I love that point. I still got it written down. It was very good.
Well, it got me to thinking about would what you do even be missed?
Ooh, it's a good way to look at it.
And there are around here at Shady Acres, there are hundreds of things that get done every week that, somebody has to do those things, but
saying Callao, I love to do.
Same everywhere.
They're not the kind of thing where somebody is standing up in front of a group or, there is a public eye upon those things. And whose phone's ringing?
This is Pablo. Definitely Pablo. Definitely Pablo.
This is a no phone zone.
Sorry, it was my alarm clock to waking up.
So I heard a funny one about that here a week or two ago, but anyway, about phones going off in church, but I'm not going to do it on the air because I'm waiting for somebody's phone to ring during church so I can do it. But anyway, so what is it that you do that would be missed? And here it is, the day before Thanksgiving. Of course, Thanksgiving is not celebrated in Peru as it is here. It is a national holiday here, a national day of Thanksgiving.
A national day of food where we eat our weight in food, and then we gain a lot of pounds, and then we sit on a couch and go into food coma.
And watch football.
And some people watch the parade, but let's not kid ourselves.
No, the parade will be on at my house, but anyway, so Zach, most of your family lives close there to you. Pablo, your family, you have family scattered all through Peru, do you not?
More on the south of Peru, Ben.
So, to me, Thanksgiving is a day when family gets together. And we are, Lord willing, tomorrow going to be blessed with all of the family together and looking forward to that very much. But what is your role even within the family?
Right. Everybody has a role in their family. everybody plays a certain role. You're right, Keith. They do.
I'm trying not to get too thoughtful
Yeah.
here with this, but we should give serious consideration to what our role is, whether it is within our physical families or whether it is within our spiritual family. And this past week, and actually I wasn't building what I'm saying now on this, but this past Sunday, I spoke on a passage from Ephesians chapter 4 where Paul was giving emphasis to the individual parts of the family of God and how they all have an important role and how that they are to be working and doing what it is that they do. So what is it that you do in the kingdom of God?
And I think I'll make this point, Keith. One of the points that kind of comes to my mind when I think about what you actually do in the congregation, what you contribute and things of that sort is a lot of times, and I think you kind of alluded to this, a lot of times people think that really the only important roles are the roles where somebody's up front in a suit and loud, where somebody's in a public eye, where somebody's in view of the entire congregation. Am I cutting out?
No. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And where somebody's in front of the entire congregation and preaching, teaching, singing, doing all the visual work in the congregation. But a lot of times the stuff that gets pushed off to the side, the stuff that nobody wants to do, is the stuff that doesn't get seen. And we've talked about this before, but we have to be the type of Christians who are willing to do the stuff that isn't going to be seen. You're not going to get any credit for it. You're not going to find anybody, maybe even nobody will even know that you did it, but it still needs to be done. And a lot of times those are the roles in the congregation that once that person passes on, those are the roles that kind of get pushed aside. They get left behind and nobody wants to fill those roles. And a lot of times Christians will take it upon themselves. Maybe they found a need. Maybe they found something that needs to be fulfilled, and they will take it upon themselves and do that. But once they pass on, if it's not a visual role, if it's not something that people know about a lot, sometimes it will get pushed to the side. And we have to be looking for all roles and all works in the congregation and not just visual ones where you're up front in a suit and loud.
I think a lot of times that we will, it's very easy to take the attitude of, well, that's the job of the preacher, or that's the job for the elders or for the deacons or for someone who is in some public.
Right.
I don't even know the word that I'm looking for, someone who is highly visual and
right.
But there are important things that every Christian can do that are not necessarily in the eyes of the public. And I was, and I know we've talked about this before too, but I was kind of amazed here. I don't know. It's been a while back, but just something so simple as visiting someone in the hospital. And I think what got me to thinking about this was, because I feel like I've been in hospitals all my life, because before I became a preacher, I was a paramedic. And so I was comfortable being in hospitals all the time. So it wasn't a big deal to go to a hospital and to visit someone. There are people who are, they're not scared of the hospital. They're not scared of the person who is in the hospital, but they're just scared to visit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my girls went with me to visit someone here a couple of weeks ago, Shelby and Emma, It's been 6 or 8 weeks ago, maybe longer than that now. And they were like, just
stiff,
timid being in that environment.
Stiff as a board.
And I'm like, just act like you know what you're doing and go on,
Right.
But it got me to thinking, that's something I do all the time that I don't even think about.
Mm-hmm.
I just go do it. And there are Christians who, whether it's visiting someone in the hospital, visiting someone in the nursing home or in their home, or inviting someone to a Bible study or to come to worship, or any number of things that they may know that in and of itself it's a simple task, but they're not comfortable in that role because they've never done it before.
Right.
And so your job might be to invite someone else to go with you.
Yes. And there has to be a comfortability action with whatever they're doing. They have
what was
to
that
be
word?
Comfortable. I can't say it, Keith. They have to be comfortable.
Maybe because it's not actually a word, but anyway.
Hey, listen, it's a word. If I said it, it's a word. Okay.
Wow.
They have to be.
Pablo,
to be.
Don't listen to him.
He's about to see me in 3 days. I'm going to make up some words, Pablo, when I'm preaching, and I'm going to make you translate them.
Okay, I will make sure to take notes about it. Okay. Yes.
I'm going to say words like ate and eaten.
Wow.
When I go down there. Yeah.
Watch out. I'll be translating for you, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, they have to be comfortable. You have to have some sort of level of, you have to be comfortable in whatever you're doing. And people are not going to do things that they're not comfortable with. And you've seen it time and time again. If I'm not comfortable in doing something in the church, then a lot of times I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take the time to do it because I don't feel comfortable doing it in the first place. So it is our role as Christians, whoever is fulfilling that role in the first place, whoever takes that role upon themselves, to introduce other people into that role. And I kind of look back on my own life, think about the radio. I would have never been comfortable doing anything on the radio unless Stan had invited me to do things on the radio. Mm-hmm. Do some promos, do some advertisements, and do some other things for the radio station that we have here at the Paceville Church of Christ. I would have never done that, but he took the time and invited me to do it, and I became comfortable in it. So it goes right back to your point, Keith. I think it's a great point.
Well, here's another point relative to that.
Okay.
Likely, you have some skills that you don't even regard as being skills.
Yeah.
Because I look at something like going to the hospital and visiting someone, and I don't really think of that as being a skill.
Mm-hmm.
But there are those who lack I can't even say that word that you made up. Comfortability.
Comfortability. That is a word. We're going to define it. I'm going to define it right here in Webster's.
I'm Googling it right now. Comfort. How do you even spell that?
Comfortability.
Okay. It actually is a word. Okay.
Comfortabilidad.
What's it mean, Keith?
Comfortability. It means comfort, the condition of being comfortable.
Exactly.
So,
told you it was a word.
I didn't know it was a word.
Told you it was a word.
What was the point I was trying to make? Oh, they're lacking the skill that you may have. There are things that you do that are a skill that you don't even regard as being a skill. And here's another problem that we have, that I have, that I'm assuming that other people have. When it comes to something like that, my schedule is so crazy that I'm sitting here thinking, how am I going to find time to do all of this? And if I were to invite someone to go with me, they're just going to slow me down.
Exactly right.
And so I might even avoid the opportunity to invite someone to go with me for the sake of time. And that's just, sometimes you don't really have any choice.
What do you think, Pablo? You've been awful quiet today.
I mean, man, it's this is what I hear from my first preacher, Juan Garcia is his name. Because at first I thought that I was a good preacher, no? When I was giving my first sermons.
Oh yeah, of course you thought you were good.
Yeah. I mean, I was young, with all that.
Hey.
Said,
okay, go ahead.
He told me, no, it's something why. He told me that I want to know, if I want to know on what thing I'm good, I have to be involved on everything, no? Not only preaching, I mean other things too. And suddenly I will know which is what I can use my gift. That's what I hear from him.
You definitely, it's very good for people to try different things out and to find out what they're good. Maybe they don't know their strengths. A lot of people will sometimes say, I don't really have any skills. I don't really have any strengths. But how do you know that you don't have any skills or strengths if you're not taking the time to try different things out and trying to find those skills and strengths? Because all people have those things.
Wow. That was pretty good stuff, Zach.
Hey, thanks, Keith.
It really was. You don't know what you can do or what you can't do if you haven't done what you can't do.
Exactly right.
Pablo's going, what?
I'm processing all the.
Give me 1 second.
Got it. I got it.
I'll get there. Give me 1 second. I'll get there.
But here's something else. You may be as physically fit as can be. You may have the skill or the ability, the physical ability to run a 5K or a 10K or something like that. You could get up right now and go run 5 kilometers.
I could not.
Okay.
You say that with such confidence, Zach.
I know I would die.
Okay, so David Wright and you need to get together and you could spend some bonding time with
Once upon a time, I tried to ride bikes with David Wright, and it went bad. But anyway, continue.
Anyway, muscle memory.
Yeah,
is where I'm going. You practice those skills, whether it is kicking a soccer ball, Pablo. You practice those skills so that when they are really needed, that it's there. The muscle memory takes over, and you don't have to stop and think about what you are doing. And I think our skills as Christians should be much the same. We need to put them to work so that they are at work. I don't know if that made sense or not, but okay. So we're down to about a minute here. And I just want to say thank you to our listeners. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic Thanksgiving Day. And we will do our best to be able to record next week. I don't know how we're going to do all that with Zach and Nika, and we're going to make it work though, because I'm just kind of proud of the fact that we've made it every week so far this year. So we don't want to mess that up.
We're the best podcast in the world, Keith.
Well, we've got room to grow.
We've got room to grow. We do.
I'll put it that way. We have room to grow. So anyway, thank you for listening. As we mentioned before, this is episode 26 of season 3, number 100. And did I say 16 or 17? 17. 117 overall. And those two guys next week will be together. Peru may never be the same.
Can't wait.
Like glue.
You ride on the other side of the bus, Pablo. You're sick. You ride on the other side of the bus.
I won't promise anything, but
are you two rooming together?
I'm sure.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure.
Pablo's the best roommate in Peru.
You wake up some mornings to music, and it's not the type of music you're used to either.
We have
salsa.
to go. We are out of time. Thank you very much, and there will be some stories from this trip coming up.
See, definitely. Okay. Ciao.
Salsa music. I'll